All right, everybody, welcome back to the Move with Dr. Mike fitness class. We are gonna go ahead and get started. Today we have, as always, a 10-minute workout that we're gonna go through. But before we get into that, we're gonna get started with our warm-up. So let's go ahead and get started with some arm circles to warm up the shoulders. We're gonna go through 10 reps in each direction. Here we're warming up the shoulders, opening up the chest, and we're gonna do 10 reps going forward and then 10 reps going backward. Here we're just warming up the body, getting it nice and loose for the workout. Now we're gonna go backwards. Nice big circles if you can. If you have any shoulder pain or any shoulder issues, you can go in smaller circles like so. But just focus on big shoulder circles just to warm up those shoulders. All right, now we're gonna move on to an inchworm. So this is going to be similar to a push-up position, but we're not doing a push-up. So we're essentially walking our hands out into that push-up position and then walking our hands back up until you're standing, okay? Once again, walking your hands back out. We're gonna do 5 of these and then walking your hands back up. Okay, this is working on 3. Walk your hands out slowly. Walk your hands back up. Let's do 2 more there. Just warming up your body, preparing it for the workout for today. And we'll do 1 more. And then walk back out. Okay. The last exercise for warming up our body will be the assisted squat hold. And essentially, if you have something that you can hold on to at home, this would be a lot easier to perform. So you can use a doorway, you can hold on to a bench or a chair. And so whatever you do, you're basically using assistance to sit down at the bottom of a squat. And so what you're trying to do is just loosen up the hips, and you're just trying to move your body and shift your weight from side to side to loosen up the ankles, to loosen up the hips. If you need to kind of take a break and stand up, that's totally fine. Essentially, you are dropping down to a squat and hanging out here for about 20 seconds, okay? After you've done that, we'll shake it off and we will go ahead and go through the second round of what we just worked on. So we'll do the arm circles once again. We have 10 circles going backward. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're gonna go forward. And I always like to kind of point my palms facing up just to externally rotate those shoulders and stretch out a lot of the shoulder muscles. We'll do 10 reps of those as well. And then we'll get into our inchworms. So you'll create some space here where you're gonna walk your hands out. So you'll bring your hands to the ground, walk out, and then walk back up. And we have 5 of these. It's 2, 3, 4. Last one here. All right, and 5, good. And then the last one, like we talked about, is sitting at the bottom of a squat with assistance, holding on to your chair, your desk, whatever you have at home or in the home office to hold on for support so you're not falling over. So essentially counting your head for 20 seconds, and you're gonna just sit at the bottom of the squat, shifting your weight side to side, maybe forward and backward if that's comfortable for you, or maybe that's just sitting down in a static stretch there. So 20 seconds, if you're still working on that, that's totally okay. But now I'm gonna get into the workout that we have planned for today. So a lot of the workouts that we've been going over in the Move with Dr. Mike fitness class, we've been focusing on body weight exercises, and for this workout we're going to stick to the same plan here. So we are going to work on a 10-minute workout where we are continuously moving our body for 10 minutes. We're going to perform 3 different exercises. So before we get started, I want to go over those 3 different exercises and give you guys some options. So if the first option is too difficult, you can always choose the second option to scale it down to make this feasible for everyone at home. So the first exercise that we're gonna go over is a pike push-up. So if you have a strong upper body, this exercise is going to be great for you. If you have a weaker upper body, you'll see how challenging this can be, and you might need to modify this exercise. But let's go ahead and get started with what a pike push-up is. So essentially what you're doing is you're doing an upside down or inverted push-up. And so instead of a regular push-up where we are just bringing our chest down to the ground, now we're gonna think about bringing our head to the ground. So we're imagining like we're making a triangle in a tripod with our head being at the top of the tripod and our hands being at the bottom on the foundation of that tripod. So essentially you're going down into this position and your bottom is somewhat sticking upward. And so as you lower down into a push-up, your head comes forward and you're using your tricep muscles to lower yourself down. So this can be very demanding on the triceps. This is gonna work a lot of the upper muscles of the shoulders and the chest. And so an inverted pike push-up is going to be the first exercise that we perform. I'll show that to you one more time. So hands are underneath your shoulders and your head is forward and you're lowering your head down and then coming up. Now, if you're saying this is way too difficult for me, that is totally okay. You're just gonna work on a regular push-up, either from an elevated surface like a bench or a chair. Like say I have a bench here, you could simply work on just a regular push-up, lowering your chest to the ground. But I wanted to provide some more challenging exercises for your upper body as we move on with these classes. So 5 pike push-ups. If pike push-ups are too difficult for you, you're gonna work on just a regular push-up, and we're doing 5 of those as well. Next, we're gonna do a seated leg raise. This is gonna work our hip flexors and our lower core abdominals. You are gonna have to do this on the ground, or actually you can even do this sitting down on a chair. But essentially, you're starting in a position where your legs are extended out in front of you, and your hands are going to go out to the side. So not right by your hip, because this is going to be difficult, but you're gonna go slightly in front of you. So your hands are supporting yourself on the ground. And what you're going to do is you're going to lift both legs up off the ground. Now, if you try that, you're already gonna feel like, wow, this is very difficult. So if you're just working on one leg at a time, that's totally okay. So if 2 legs at the same time is too difficult on the core muscles, like this, then I want you to do 1 leg at a time. So you would essentially do 5 reps on each side to make the total of 10 leg raises. So if you can complete a leg raise, we're focusing on keeping the legs together, tightening those abdominals, and moving the legs as a unit while keeping your body stationary on the ground. This is also another very challenging exercise, and we want to make sure that you're going slow and controlled as you're moving through the 10 minutes. Now, the last exercise that we're going to go over before we start this clock is a single leg squat. And this we're going to do from a chair. And essentially, if I show you here, essentially you're going to practice standing up with 1 leg. That's all what a single leg squat is. You're standing up with 1 leg. So the higher the surface that you're standing on, the easier this is going to be. If you have a very low chair and you're trying to stand up with 1 leg, this is going to be very challenging. So I'll show you it again. You can either have your other leg out in front of you, or you can have it bent off the ground. The main thing is you don't use the other leg to assist. but you're getting your balance and you're slowly standing up and sitting down, okay? So you would essentially do 8 reps on one side, and then you would switch and do 8 reps on the other. If this is too difficult on your balance, there's easier ways where you can just hold on to something and still get the strength benefit out of that exercise, but it's a single leg squat. And the way that we can modify this or give you a second option is either increasing the height of the chair, maybe putting a couple books or pillows on the chair so that you're not having to sit down as low. Or the second option is just working on a double leg, like our normal chair stand like we normally do, with 2 legs instead of 1, okay? With that one, if you do choose to decide to do the sit to stands from a chair without the single leg, you're still gonna perform a total of 16 reps because the single leg raise or single leg squat, we said 8 reps on each side, so a total of 16. If you are gonna do the chair stand, we're still doing 16 repetitions. So just to review, we have 5 pike push-ups or regular push-ups from the ground, 10 seated leg raises, and then 8 on each leg, single leg squats, or 16 sit to stand squats. So we're gonna get this 10-minute clock going. You're gonna be going in a rotation through all of those exercises, moving at your own pace, and you're gonna see that they are gonna challenge all of the different muscles of the lower body and the core, and even the upper body, especially with our pike push-ups. So we will go ahead and get this clock going. We have a 10-second countdown. And the first exercise we are starting off with is our 5 pike push-ups or regular push-ups. Okay, ready and begin. Going down, thinking about bringing the head forward, keeping those elbows nice and tight to the body. Very good. And 5, good. Moving on to the next one, which is our L sits. We're gonna stay on the ground here. You can both legs at the same time. We have 10 of these. And you're gonna have to go slow with these because if you're out of control, your body's just going to be dropping, and we don't wanna be just letting the legs hit the ground with a heavy impact. So I want you to go nice and controlled with these movement. You're gonna feel these in your core muscles and your abs. And notice I'm trying my best to keep my legs as straight as possible. If you need to do one leg at a time, totally okay, okay? So we have 10 reps of those. Now we're gonna move on to our 8 single leg squats on each side. And this will get easier as we're moving through the other rounds because you'll get the hang of the exercises, but right now, many of these exercises probably feel very new. We haven't worked on these before, but wanted to make sure that I gave you guys some variation. The single leg squat can really be challenging. Very good for developing single leg strength. Especially, you know, many of us have some imbalances. So this is a great way to address those imbalances. And you'll see it's very challenging on your balance as well. Working the quadriceps, the glutes. You're gonna be sore after today, and you can thank me later. Eight on each side. Or if you're choosing to do your sit to stands, you have 16 total. Okay, once you're done with your first round, you'll repeat that, go back into your push-ups or your pike push-ups. You'll feel these pike push-ups really on the deltoids and the upper chest. Very demanding on the upper body, especially because you're going upside down versus flat like a regular push-up. Just another way that we can make our pushing exercises a little harder Now we're moving on to our leg raises. If you're choosing to do one leg at a time, totally okay there. Now our single leg squats. Guys are doing good, hang in there. I know you feel those quadriceps now, especially with those squats. Eight on each side. Move to the other leg if you're here. And if you need to occasionally drop the other foot down for balance, obviously that's okay. But the goal is to not let the other foot touch the ground. Guys are doing good, keep it up. All right. Continue to work through those 3 different exercises. I'm moving on to my pike push-ups. Leg raises can definitely get very difficult on the core as we go through these rounds. You also notice the closer you have your hands to your feet, the harder this is going to be. So don't be afraid to bring your hands back a little further next to, I would say, your upper thigh. Not to your hip, because that will be way too difficult. But find that balance. You can kind of shift your trunk slightly backward, like you're leaning back just a little to get some balance. And as your hip flexors and your core gets fatigued, you're gonna wanna bend your knees more, but try your best to keep your legs straight there, okay? We'll move on to our single leg squats. We have about 4.5 minutes left. Doing good, guys? All right, switch to the other leg. I like to have my hands in front. It helps me counterbalance myself, gives me better balance. And this also is time for me to check in with myself. Which side seems harder? Which side should I start to focus on and address to balance out my lower body? I know that as a therapist, many of the injuries that I see commonly that happen to people are because of imbalances. Whether that's range of motion, lacking the flexibility, or a lot of times lacking the strength. So it's good to address working one leg at a time with these exercises. We should have at least 1 or 2 more rounds left. Those pike push-ups can definitely get challenging. Keep it up. We have 3 minutes left in this workout. Guys are doing great. Hang in there. Focus on that control movement. If you find yourself getting sloppy, slow it down. Or if you're breathing hard and you need to take a break, totally okay. You control how much intensity you want to work at. Okay. Keep moving, you guys are doing great. If you're feeling good, obviously you can go faster and do more rounds, or this might be perfect for you. Control that breathing. Keep working. All right, we have about a minute and a half left. A minute and a half left. Let's see what we can get out of these last few exercises. Keep those legs straight if you can on these leg raises. If you're doing one leg at a time, totally fine there. We got about 50 seconds left. Let's finish strong there. Hang in there. I definitely feel the legs now. 25 seconds. Hang in there, guys. Doing well. Ten seconds. Alrighty, nice job, guys. Fantastic job. I am curious to know which exercises were the toughest for you. Now, as always, we finished our 10-minute workout. We are gonna finish this class with a cool down, and let's get started with the few stretches that we're gonna work on, which is the first one. And this is the cross body stretch. We're focusing on the back of the shoulder here. You're gonna take your arm, keep it straight, bring it across the body. So you're using the opposite hand to bring your elbow inward towards your body, almost like you're hugging yourself. And we're stretching out the back of the arm here. Take some nice deep breaths. Focus on the workout and what you've been working on intentionally. How did you feel about the workout? Which was the most challenging for you? Was it more limited by your strength, or was it limited by your cardiorespiratory system? Were you breathing hard? Let's go and switch to the other side now. This is a chance to understand more about your body, understand where your limitations are, so that you can focus on spending more targeted time on that area. So obviously it's fun to work out, but when you can also learn something about yourself, that's where we become very productive with our time, and we start choosing the exercises and workouts that are gonna help us out the most. So after we've gone over the cross body stretch, we'll move on to our chest butterfly stretch, opening up the shoulders and the chest. This is one of my favorite ones. Hands are gonna go behind the head. We're gonna go 5 deep breaths, pull those elbows back, inhale and exhale. 5 breaths, inhale and exhale. There's 2, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's do one more, inhale and exhale. All right, last exercise or stretch is our forward fold. We're gonna separate our feet. We're gonna basically stretch out the hamstrings and the glutes. All you're gonna do is reach down all the way and touch the ground with your feet spread apart. You're also gonna feel this on your hips. If you need to use a bench to support yourself, it just gives you a chance to really open up your hips and get down towards the ground, almost like you're touching your toes, but your feet are spread apart. And you can just hang out here, or if you want to kind of pulsate, go nice and slow, and get a good stretch of the lower back and the hamstrings. And after you spend about 30 seconds there, that will complete our warm-up for today. So hope you guys found this video helpful and you're enjoying these short 10-minute workouts with Move with Dr. Mike. We really appreciate you guys for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next one.